The silence of deep space shattered as the Phoenix's proximity alarms blared through the command deck. Commander Philia Winters stood at her station, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. Something was wrong. The void between Jupiter's moons never stayed quiet for long, but this was different. "Report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the growing tension in her chest. Lieutenant Reed's fingers danced across his console, bringing up detailed sensor readings. "Unknown signature, Commander. It's not matching any known configurations in our database. The energy output is impossible." Reed's voice carried a hint of disbelief as he analyzed the incoming data. The Phoenix, humanity's most advanced deep space vessel, had been patrolling this sector for months without incident. Now, as Philia studied the readings herself, she realized they were facing something unprecedented. The object was massive, easily 3 times the size of their ship, but it barely registered on their traditional sensors. "Full stop," Philia ordered. "Power up defensive systems, but keep weapons cold. Let's not start a war today." The bridge crew responded with practiced efficiency, bringing the massive ship to a relative halt in space. The unknown vessel emerged from behind Eo's shadow, its hull seeming to absorb the distant sunlight rather than reflect it. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, defying every principle of spacecraft design that humanity had developed over centuries of space exploration. "Ma'am," called out Ensign Patricia Wong from her communication station, "we're picking up some kind of transmission. It's like nothing I've ever seen before." The young officer's hands trembled slightly as she adjusted her controls. Philia moved to Wong's station, studying the bizarre wavelength patterns on her screen. They pulsed with an almost organic rhythm, as if the ship itself was trying to communicate through some form of technological telepathy. "Run it through all known decryption protocols," Philia ordered, "and get me a direct line to Earth Command. They need to know what we found out here." Before Wong could acknowledge the order, the alien vessel suddenly accelerated, covering the distance between them in seconds. The Phoenix's artificial gravity struggled to compensate as Philia gripped her command chair. "Defensive positions," she shouted. "All hands to battle stations." The crew scrambled to respond, but the alien ship made no aggressive moves. Instead, it began to emit a soft, pulsing light that seemed to pass straight through the Phoenix's hull. Engineering reported no damage, but every electronic system on board began displaying strange, shifting symbols. "Commander," Reed called out, his voice tight with concern, "they're scanning us." "But it's not just our ship. They're scanning our neural patterns, our biological makeup. They're learning everything about us." Philia felt a chill run down her spine. In all her years of service, she'd never encountered anything like this. The alien vessel's presence seemed to bend the very fabric of space around it, defying physics itself. "Send out a general greeting on all frequencies," she ordered. "Make it clear we're not hostile, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." As Wong transmitted the message, the alien ship's surface began to shift and change. A section of its hull transformed, creating what appeared to be a viewport or observation window. Through it, Philia could see movement, shapes that seemed both familiar and utterly alien at the same time. "They're responding," Wong announced, her voice barely above a whisper. "But Commander, the message, it's in perfect English." The bridge fell silent as words appeared on every screen, every display, even floating in the air as holographic text. "We have watched. We have waited. Now it is time for judgment." Philia's mind raced with possibilities. This wasn't just first contact. This was something far more significant. Whatever these beings were, they had been studying humanity for who knows how long, and now they had chosen this moment to reveal themselves. "All stations, maintain current positions," she ordered, her voice firm despite the gravity of the situation. "Whatever happens next will determine the future of our entire species. Let's make sure we get it right." Lieutenant Marcus Reed stared at the data streaming across his tactical display, his heart pounding against his ribs. The alien vessel's energy signature had changed, becoming more complex with each passing moment. Around him, the Phoenix's bridge hummed with nervous energy as crew members monitored their stations. "They're modifying their field structure," Reed reported to Commander Winters. "The energy patterns, they're becoming more ordered, almost crystalline in nature." He watched as the alien ship's surface continued to ripple and shift, its metallic skin flowing like quicksilver. Dr. Helena Walsh, the ship's chief science officer, moved to his station, her weathered face creased with concentration. These readings suggest their hull isn't just a protective barrier. It's a living computer matrix. Every molecule is processing information. The alien message still hung in the air. "We have watched. We have waited. Now it is time for judgment." The words carried a weight that seemed to press down on everyone present. Multiple contacts. Ensign Wang's voice cut through the tension. 3 more vessels just appeared from behind Europa's orbit, same configuration as the first. Commander Winters moved to the center of the bridge, her posture rigid. "Defensive formation Delta. Keep our shields at maximum. But remember, no aggressive moves unless directly threatened." The new vessels took positions around the Phoenix, forming a perfect tetrahedron. Their surfaces pulsed with the same otherworldly energy as the first ship, creating a web of invisible force that Reed's instruments could barely comprehend. "Commander," Reed called out, his voice tight with urgency, "they're establishing some kind of quantum field between their ships. It's creating a containment zone around us." Before anyone could respond, a new message appeared. "Your species advances quickly. Too quickly. We have seen this pattern before." The implication sent a chill through the bridge. These beings weren't just making first contact. They were conducting some kind of evaluation of humanity itself. Suddenly, every screen on the Phoenix flickered in change, showing images from Earth's history, wars, technological advances, space exploration, all flashing by at incredible speed. The aliens were accessing their computer systems as if the Phoenix's advanced firewalls didn't exist. "They're not just scanning our databases," Dr. Walsh observed, her fingers flying over her console. "They're analyzing our decision-making patterns, our responses to various scenarios. This is a test." Commander Winters stepped forward, her voice clear and determined. "Open a direct channel. If they want to judge us, they should at least hear what we have to say." The moment she finished speaking, a beam of intense light shot from the lead alien vessel, engulfing the Phoenix in a brilliant golden glow. Reed's tactical displays went crazy, showing energy readings that should have been impossible. "No damage to our systems," he reported, "but, Commander, they're projecting something into our minds. Some kind of virtual interface." The bridge crew gasped as their surroundings seemed to shift and change. While they remained physically on the Phoenix, their consciousness experienced something else entirely. A vast virtual space, filled with symbols and images from countless alien civilizations. "Your kind stands at a crossroads," a voice echoed in their minds. "Neither male nor female, young nor old. Many before you have reached this point. Few have survived what comes next." Through the mental link, Reed could sense the presence of the alien intelligence, ancient, powerful, and utterly foreign in its thinking. They were being examined not just as individuals, but as representatives of their entire species. "We see your potential," the voice continued. "We see your drive to explore, to understand, to grow. But we also see your capacity for destruction, your tendency toward conflict." Commander Winters stepped forward mentally in the shared space. "We learn from our mistakes. We strive to be better." "Many have said the same," the voice responded. "Yet they'd brought ruin to entire galaxies. The question is not whether humanity will advance, but whether you can be trusted with the power that comes with that advancement." Reed felt a surge of pride mixed with fear. Humanity's future hung in the balance, and these beings held the power to either elevate or end their civilization. The air grew thick with tension as they awaited the aliens' next move. The virtual space around them began to shift again, showing images of possible futures, some glorious, others catastrophic. The aliens were laying bare the full scope of humanity's potential, both for greatness and for destruction. "The trial begins now," the voice announced. "Your responses will determine your species' fate." Science officer Diana Frost watched in horror as the virtual space around them transformed into a nightmarish tableau of destruction. The alien beings weren't just showing them possibilities. They were forcing the crew to experience potential futures firsthand, testing their reactions to increasingly difficult scenarios. "Neural patterns are spiking across the crew," she reported, struggling to maintain her scientific detachment. "Whatever these beings are doing, it's affecting us at a fundamental level." Her instruments showed brain activity that should have been impossible, yet every member of the Phoenix's crew remained conscious and aware. The alien presence probed deeper, presenting scenario after scenario. They witnessed worlds torn apart by advanced weapons, saw civilizations collapse under the weight of their own technological achievements. Each vision felt real, immediate, and terrifying. "They're not just testing our responses," Commander Winters observed, her voice strained but determined. "They're measuring our emotional reactions, our capacity for empathy and understanding." Through the mental link, Diana could sense the aliens' ancient intelligence analyzing every thought, every reaction. The experience was overwhelming, but she forced herself to focus, to observe and record everything she could about these beings and their technologies. "Quantum fluctuations are increasing," she announced, checking her readings. "The energy field they've created around us is becoming more complex. It's like they're building some kind of multidimensional testing chamber." Lieutenant Reed's tactical display suddenly lit up with warnings. "Commander, they're projecting something else, some kind of temporal distortion. They're showing us." His voice trailed off as the crew found themselves witnessing Earth's possible futures. In one timeline, humanity spread peacefully among the stars, bringing knowledge and cooperation to new worlds. In another, Earth's technology turned inward, destroying itself in a cascade of increasingly destructive weapons. This isn't just about judgment, Diana realized, her scientific mind racing to understand. They're showing us decision points, moments where our choices will determine everything. The alien presence seemed to approve of her understanding. The virtual space shifted again, focusing on the Phoenix and its crew. They were being presented with a series of increasingly complex moral and tactical decisions, each one designed to test their responses under pressure. "Commander," Diana called out, "their field is affecting our ship's quantum core. The energy patterns, they're becoming synchronized with the alien technology." Commander Winters stood firm, her mind clearly visible in the shared space as a beacon of calm determination. "Whatever tests they're conducting, we need to show them who we really are. Not just our potential for destruction, but our capacity for growth and understanding." The alien presence responded by intensifying the scenarios. The crew found themselves facing situations that tested not just their tactical skills but their fundamental values. How would they handle first contact with less advanced species? What decisions would they make when faced with the power to alter the development of entire civilizations? Diana's sensors recorded everything, capturing data that would take years to fully analyze, assuming they survived this encounter. The alien technology operated on principles that defied current human understanding, yet somehow felt strangely familiar. "These beings," she reported, "they're not just testing us. They're teaching us, showing us possibilities we haven't even imagined yet. But why?" The answer came not in words, but in images. Countless civilizations that had reached this same point made these same choices. Some had passed the test and grown to become something greater. Others had failed, their potential lost to time and space. "Neural patterns are stabilizing," Diana announced, noting a change in her readings. "Whatever they're doing, our minds are beginning to adapt. We're learning to process the information more efficiently." The alien presence seemed to react to this development, the energy field around the Phoenix pulsing with new patterns. They were approaching some kind of threshold, a point of no return in their evaluation of humanity. Commander Winters straightened, her mental presence strong and clear in the shared space. We're ready for whatever comes next. Humanity has faced challenges before. We've learned, adapted, grown. We can do it again. The aliens' response was immediate and overwhelming. The energy field around the Phoenix intensified, and Diana's instruments recorded power levels that should have been impossible. They were about to face their final test, one that would determine not just their fate, but the fate of their entire species. Admiral James Harrison stood at the heart of Earth's Defense Command, watching as the Phoenix's transmission reached them. The alien test had moved beyond simple evaluation. It had become a crucial moment for all of humanity. The energy field is changing. Diana Frost's voice came through, distorted but clear. They're not just testing us anymore. They're offering us a choice. The virtual space around the Phoenix's crew transformed one final time, showing them something that defied description. A glimpse of humanity's ultimate potential. Not just technological advancement, but a fundamental evolution of consciousness and understanding. We see now, the alien presence communicated, that your species carries both great danger and great promise. Like those before you, you stand at the threshold of a greater universe. Commander Winters, her mental presence steady despite the strain, addressed the beings directly. We're ready to learn, to grow, but we'll do it on our own terms. Humanity must make its own choices. The alien vessels began to pulse with new energy, their surfaces shifting to reveal intricate patterns that seemed to represent entire galaxies. The quantum field around the Phoenix changed, becoming less restrictive and more instructive. Your response is unexpected. The alien presence acknowledge. Most species choose either complete submission or defensive aggression. You choose a third path. Admiral Harrison watched from Earth as the alien ships began to move, their formation opening to release the Phoenix from their testing chamber. The data streaming back to Earth showed something extraordinary. The aliens were sharing information, but not their most advanced technology. Instead, they were providing guidelines, markers for humanity's development. We offer neither salvation nor destruction. The alien voice resonated across space. Instead, we offer observation and guidance. Your species must evolve on its own, but now you do so knowing you are not alone in the universe. Commander Winters and her crew felt the virtual space beginning to fade, their minds returning fully to physical reality. The alien ships remained present, but their overwhelming presence had diminished to something more collaborative than confrontational. Their final message, Diana reported, her voice filled with wonder as she interpreted the incoming data. They're leaving us to our own development, but they'll be watching. We've neither passed nor failed their test. We've convinced them to take a different approach entirely. Admiral Harrison smiled as he understood the implications. Humanity had proven itself not by demonstrating perfect behavior or overwhelming strength, but by showing its capacity for independent thought and balanced judgment. The alien vessels began to fade from normal space, their surfaces rippling one final time. Before they vanished completely, they transmitted one last message. Until we meet again, children of Earth, grow wisely. The Phoenix's crew watched as the massive ships disappeared, leaving behind not just scientific data, but a profound understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. They had faced judgment and emerged neither condemned nor elevated, but recognized as equals in potential. Send word to all Earth stations, Admiral Harrison commanded. Today marks not just first contact, but the beginning of a new era. We've been given neither a blessing nor a warning, but something far more valuable. A challenge to prove ourselves worthy of the stars. Commander Winters stood on her bridge, watching the space where the alien ships had been. Plot a course for Earth, she ordered, her voice carrying new authority. We have a lot of work ahead of us. The Phoenix turned toward home, its crew forever changed by their experience. They had faced humanity's trial in the void and emerged with something unexpected, not victory or defeat, but understanding. The stars above seemed different now, filled not with empty space, but with potential, with promise, and with the knowledge that humanity's greatest journey was just beginning. And somewhere in the vast darkness between the stars, ancient eyes watched and waited, seeing in humanity something they hadn't seen in millennia. The potential for a new kind of evolution, one that would unfold not through judgment, but through choice.